facts you don't know about John Florio.
John Florio added more than 1,000 new words to the English language.
He created words like emotion, management, effort, efface,
Comport, facilitate,
amusing,
regret,
embellish, ingenuity, jovially, populate, transmission, unforgiveness, evaporate, wantonizing. He compiled the first Italian-English dictionary, A World of Words, and the second edition, Queen's Anna New World of Words, contained 74,000 Italian words and 150,000 English words. Florio's works were the epitome of the era's culture.
John Florio used a bombastic style.
An exaggerated use of metaphor, rhetoric, wit, quips and puns, poetic sense and extensive use of proverbs.
Florio is a juggler of words and a polyglot.
He spoke 4 modern languages, Italian, Spanish, French, English, as well as Latin, Greek and probably Hebrew.
John Florio translated Montaigne's essays and Boccaccio's Decameron, 2 exceptional works.
The idea of translating this fundamental text during such a crucial time for the development of English culture is in itself an extraordinary feat. Florio's translations prove that he is a great writer and a poet who loved to write in prose.
John Florio owned 340 books in Italian, French, Spanish, and an unknown number in English.
He read 252 books in preparation for his dictionary, Queen Anna New World of Words. Florio will bequeath his library of Italian, French, and Spanish books to his friend and protector, William Herbert, Earl of Pembroke.
John Florio loved music.
When he became groom of the privy chamber in 1664, Florio was responsible for inviting musicians to perform at the royal court. When she described Florio's approach to writing, Mrs. Yeats wrote, "Things must not be said once only. They must be said at least twice, and sometimes 3 or 4 times in pair or balanced phrases. There must be an arabesque of sound similarity, alliteration perhaps, or at any rate sound repetition of some kind, waving in and out among the phrases to give them color, harmony, majesty. He cannot understand thought pattern without sound pattern."
John Florio defined himself Italian in tongue, English at heart.
Florio was born in London. His parents were Italian. He spent his childhood in between Italy and Switzerland and his teenage years in Germany. He probably traveled to France as well. At 18 years old, he arrived in London and stayed in his homeland until his death. He was a modern, multicultural European man.
John Florio had a double personality.
He introduced himself as a teacher, but worked as editor, secretary, agent, spy, ghostwriter. His foreign origins forced him to be very cautious and be among the many foreigners who worked as teachers and translators in London.
John Florio was a very ambitious man. That's why he never loved teaching.
He was a brilliant, cunning man who knew how to behave in certain circumstances to avoid suspects and be able to keep writing and collaborating with other English writers and pursue his mission.
Bring the Italian-European Renaissance in England through translations.
And use this material in many fields: literature, language, news, and drama.
John Florio, due to his foreign origins, received many attacks and criticism during his career, even death threats.
Florio had to be very careful. During the 16th century, London was a very xenophobic city. Despite he defined himself English at heart, Florio was attacked very often during his career. He even received death threats. This was mainly due to his Italian origins and his desire to be considered an English writer and have the same opportunities his English colleagues had.
John Florio was very conscious of his own worth. He knew he had a culture that very few had at the time.
And his love for writing and literature was bigger than any criticism. He kept on writing, often as ghostwriter, showing great courage and deep love for both literature and his country, England.
John Florio had many friends who esteemed him.
He was a close friend of Southampton, Samuel Daniel, Philip Sidney, the Pembroke family, Queen Anne of Denmark. Ben Jonson defined him his loving father and worthy friend and the aid of his muses.
Similar tributes are shared by many other nobles.
Despite he was prized by his contemporaries as a brilliant man and writer, Florio has been unfairly forgotten through the centuries and merely cited as a minor figure of the English Renaissance. Some scholars have distorted and twisted his personality, sometimes portray him as a pedant or silly scholar, diminishing the important contribution that he gave to English language and literature.
It is time to recognize John Florio as the most important humanist in Renaissance England.